Hi there, and a very warm welcome to the second part of the Investec Derby preview, where we chat to Mike CATTERMOLE, who called the most important build-up race to the Investec Derby. And of course, that was the Betfred Dante Stakes, where Frankie Dettori gave us a fantastic clue as to the outcome of the race, which was pretty much a form result. But Mike, thank you very much indeed for joining us yet again. The crystal ball was seen to good effect once again, and the Investec Derby picture looks quite a lot clearer than it did prior to the running of the Dante Stakes.
Yeah, hi Andrew. It does. We were very much in the dark regarding certain horses, and for me, the Investec Derby picture hadn't really caught fire until the Dante last week at York. But by golly, didn't it just afterwards? And Golden Horn, who wasn't entered in the race, won the trial really impressively. And now is to be supplemented, well, they've agreed to supplement him for £75,000 into the race, which has got to be the easiest decision anybody with a lot of money has ever made.
Well, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that the family concerned, and I sent an email to Mary Slack yesterday. The horse is owned by Anthony Oppenheimer, so there's definitely no shortage of bush fare on that side.
Yeah, the Oppenheimers have been breeding good horses here for decades now. I mean, mainly, Andrew, to be honest with you, milers and quite quick horses. Anthony Oppenheimer was quite adamant before the Dante that the horse would turn out to be a mile and a quarter specialist, and I had entered him in the French Derby, but of course he hadn't got him in the Investec Derby. But now it's all changed, and I'm so pleased. We're also pleased that that is the case, because this horse did everything right, Andrew, last week. He settled beautifully. He was very relaxed in the preliminaries. He quickened up without the jockey moving much. William Buick was on him. I think it'll be interesting to see who rides him on the big day. But when he quickened past Jack Hobbs in Elm Park and hit the line very, very strong, I thought, listen, that is the benchmark. If anything beats him, wins the Derby. And for me, I can't see anything coming out and beating him at this stage.
Well, the Dante is, renowned to be the best trial, and I think this year probably the strongest. Everybody avoided the soft ground here, there, and everywhere, and turned up for the Dante. So it looks a very, very good race. His work's been tidy. We are happy with him, and like I said, I'm as excited as everybody. I want to see what he's made of.
You know what it takes to win around Epsom. It's with its idiosyncrasies.
Let's get York over first. Let's not nothing too far.
But you think he's a well-balanced sort of horse, it seems?
He's still a nice horse, and we got another one in the race called Golden Horn, and he's doing really, really well too. So that doesn't mean I'm on the best one. I mean, they're both good horses, and we'll see what happens.
They're now approaching the 6 furlong marker on the far side of the course in this Betfred Dante Stakes. And Lord Ben Stack by 2 lengths to Elm Park. Then John F. Kennedy, maybe just third now on the outside of Nafakar. And then out wide of those two is Jack Hobbs, a couple of lengths to Golden Horn. And Old Man River now begins to close up a little. About to swing for home, 4.5 furlongs left to gallop. And Lord Ben Stack from Elm Park, John F. Kennedy. Jack Hobbs pushed along by Frankie on the outside, just beginning to unwind. He's come back, just head on one side. Nafakar on the far side, then Golden Horn. Elm Park now looms up towards Lord Ben Stacks on outside. Then Jack Hobbs about to join in. Here comes the test here at York. This is the big trial, and it's Elm Park that takes it up from Jack Hobbs in second. On the far side, Nafakar. Out wide, Golden Horn is making ground on the left of your picture. Elm Park and Jack Hobbs with less than 2 furlongs to cover. Elm Park hanging towards Jack Hobbs. Golden Horn perhaps finishing the best now and begins to quicken up smartly on the stand side. It's Golden Horn and William Buick from stable companion Jack Hobbs. Elm Park weakening in third and racing for the finish. Golden Horn, the Newmarket winner, follows up at York and stretches away to win. A fine performance in the Dante. In second, Jack Hobbs, Elm Park third, and maybe significantly the first 3 are miles clear of the others. Nafakar, Lord Ben Stack, Old Man River, and disappointing again was John F. Kennedy.
Yeah, you would obviously think that Frankie Dettori's interview prior to the running of the race gave some sort of a clue as to the fact that perhaps Jack Hobbs wasn't the right one. He said, don't take it for granted that I'm on the right one. And I was quite perturbed about the way that Jack Hobbs hung for the better part of the straight. It looked like something might have been worrying him. What was your take? And would he be better on the slightly cambered turn, or the majorly cambered turn at Epsom?
That's a good question. I must admit, watching it, I thought that he didn't look mentally ready for this. And to be honest with you, it was a big step up on what he'd done at Sandown. He won a handicap off a pretty ordinary mark at Sandown by 12 lengths. This was a better performance, running second in a Grade 2, Group 2. Sure, yeah, he got a bit unbalanced. I think that's probably down to inexperience. And Elm Park and him had a little bit of a barging match. I felt that Elm Park found the ground plenty lively enough as well. He ran a good trial, first time out this season, and he's entitled to come on for that. But neither horse had any answer to the speed in the closing stages that his Golden Horn showed. And I also felt that there was more in the tank as well with the winner too, excitingly enough.
I was interested in the comment from David Redford, who's the racing manager of the horse's owner, Sheikh Fayed, and of course I refer to Elm Street, in respect of his ability to train on, and he's really done particularly well. And they seem bullish that he really needed that run badly, and that he will come on in leaps and bounds for the big Derby day.
Yeah, I think he's entitled to. He was a horse that won a Group 1 as a 2-year-old. He was the only Group 1 winner in the lineup last week, interestingly enough. He's bred to stay a mile and a half too. He's got a proper middle distance pedigree. Perhaps, his father, Phoenix Reach, improved as he got older. And I think that Elm Park is going to be the same. He's a nice type of horse, Elm Park. Whether he's quite tip-top, I don't know. I think he's probably a horse that will end up running in the St Ledger at the end of the season. And I also feel, Andrew, that now they've got Golden Horn in there for John Gosden's team, and Christopher Marlowe, who's a horse that's won at Epsom, I have a funny feeling that Jack Hobbs might even swerve the race and go for the King Edward VII Stakes at Royal Ascot.
Elm Park has the lead. He's about to recognise Restorer now as a challenger towards his far side and towards the near side rail. That is Snow Arno. Between horses, Celestial Path is beginning to stay on. So too Jacobean down the centre of the track as they enter the final quarter mile of the Racing Post Trophy. And it is Elm Park who has the lead by a length and a half. Celestial Path is hard driven. Aloft now begins to sprout wings towards the outside, but he'll need to, because Elm Park is not stopping. Indeed, he is finding more. He's gone clear now by 3 lengths. It is Elm Park and Andrea Azzini, and making it a procession in the 2014 running of the Racing Post Trophy. It is Elm Park. He could be a real star of the future.
Let's touch on a horse called Zorak. He's a horse that we didn't discuss at all because he kind of slipped under the radar, but Dermot Weld, when he crosses the channel, is not for fun. He's a very, very serious, very, very accomplished trainer.
Yeah, he is. His reputation doesn't need enhancing. Dermot has got a fantastic record, hasn't he? Yeah, Zorak, he's won both of his races, both at Leopardstown, which is an undulating left-handed track, so that's good news as regards Epsom. He was due to run in a Downstown Derby trial last week, but he missed that. The trainer didn't seem too concerned. He came back and won the 2,000 guineas trial at Leopardstown very impressively last month in April, and comes into this race now 2 out of 2, possibly lacking a little bit of experience, but a lot of them do. But he's by Shamadal, who's a miler. But there is, encouragement. The Dam was a 1.25 mile winner, who's by Sadler as well. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if he just about stretches out to 1.5 miles. He's a serious horse by the looks of things.
Do you think that the depth of this field, besides the horses that we've discussed, warrants the inclusion of a 20-to-1 chance in trifectas and quartets? Because there's always something that slips in.
There is. There'll be something that, Andrew, will improve physically over the next few weeks, and will step up considerably on what they've done over shorter distances, over 1.5 miles at Epsom. No question about that. Who's to say that they won't run Glen Eagles?
Home of the Brave looks the overall leader, challenged now by Glen Eagles and Ryan Moore, and Glen Eagles comes powering through to claim the advantage. Down the middle is Ivorwood, running on his territories for Godolphin, then Dutch Connection, but it's Glen Eagles that leads the way up the hill from Ivorwood and territories. Glen Eagles out in front is another guineas for Aidan O'Brien, and a first for Ryan Moore. Glen Eagles win, Suze Classy in second territories. Ivorwood was back in third. Might have been Dutch Connection or Bossy Guess. I can't say They flash past out of my sight for fourth, but Gleneagles has won in decisive fashion here.
Lester Piggott actually suggested this in an interview recently, that why don't they consider running Gleneagles? As we know, Gleneagles, he's a son of Galileo, but there's a lot of speed on his dam side, so whether he would stay a mile and a half. I mean, a dam was assisted the Giants Causeway, so it's not impossible. I mean, if he lined up, Andrew, then the race would be turned upside down, and he'd be a serious player, wouldn't he?
It's about as well bred as Australia, being out of Ouija board.
Yeah. Well, he was bred to win a derby, wasn't he? No
Indeed.
question about that.
Yep,
he really
100%.
was.
All that we're hoping for is one day that the big man himself, who's put so much money into the game, Bernard Cantor, gets a runner in the Investec Derby, whether it's got a chance or not. I mean, can you imagine that?
Well, of course, William Haggis trains for Bernard, doesn't he?
Indeed.
Yeah, so that's a possibility.
He's had a couple of runners on the day, but, obviously it's when you look at the odds, it's sort of many thousands to one, the chances of getting a horse into the Investec Derby.
Yeah, indeed. I'll give you one horse that, I just feel though the French might have a say. Although Grey Lion's not coming over, Andrew, Freddie Head's got a nice horse called Migwa. We haven't seen him since March, but he came back and won in heavy ground very easily. But he's a See the Stars colt out of a King Mambo mare, Migwa, and he's trading at around about 33 to 1. Keep an eye on him, because Freddie likes having a trip across the channel every now and again.
The old expression, the more things change, the more things stay the same. There are lots of proliferations that come back year after year after year. The high-quality blood rises to the top in the world's greatest flat race.
Well, Storm the Stars is another See the Stars. They're also mentioned at William Haggis's, but all that line is incredibly influential, isn't it? Galileo and See the Stars, etc., etc. But no, it's going to be another great race. What I am surprised about right now is that Golden Horn, he's trading generally at 2 to 1 here in the UK. I think it's the same most places.
Yeah.
I would almost expect him to be a bit shorter than that, Andrew. What he did last week, I think, was exceptional. I'm very excited by him. I just feel as though he's got ticks in all the boxes. And it would be rather ironic if he failed for not staying, wouldn't it?
Well, I must admit, for the first time, I'm starting to get that real spring in my step, and really so excited to walk on those hallowed grounds at Epsom Downs. And it's been most insightful to chat to you. I'm sure things will develop significantly this week, but Golden Horn at this stage of the game certainly looks to beat the right horse, Mike.
I think so, Andrew. I think he'll give John Goldson his second Derby winner following Benny the Dip back in the 1990s.
Well, Mike, as always, it's been a delight chatting to you. Thank you very much for your insights and your advice. We shall dissect this race closer to the time and look forward to seeing you in England, even though on the day itself you'll be up in Musselburgh in Scotland.
Don't remind me.
There'll be a day. Well, I'll be in Musselburgh and you'd be at Investec Derby in Epsom.
I've got to go where they're paying me, Andrew. They're not paying me to go to Epsom this year, sadly.
All right, they will take the fifth. Michael, thank you very much indeed, and look forward to catching up with you in England.
Catch you soon. Yeah, give us a shout when you're over.
Will do. Have a great day.
Take care, my mate.
Mike CATTERMOLE joining us on the line from the United Kingdom, one of the most polished commentators and presenters that I've ever had the pleasure of seeing, and really nice to have him partake in the Investec Derby preview. We'll have more information coming to you live from Epsom, and we might just even have a third insert before the departure to the hallowed grounds of Epsom Downs. For myself, Andrew Bond, and the Investec Derby preview, thanks for joining us, and goodbye.